All right, so this next thing that I'm gonna do, I just want to put out a quick little PSA for any of you guys who are watching this in the here and now. And even if you're not, if you're watching this eventually on YouTube, this is still a wise piece of advice and something that I think everyone should be a bit more mindful of. So I am about to check out the new voice lines that have released regarding Tartaglia Childe, focusing on the Harbingers. From what I've heard, following the Winter Nights Lazzo video coming out, they updated him as he's the only Harbinger that can give us insight on characters that we don't know of yet. However, I have been barraged and bombarded by people who have been constantly telling me, Arnold, check out Childe's voice lines. The problem is, all of these people were telling me this before 2.8 came out. What does that mean? That means that people assume that everybody check out leaks, and it's fucking annoying. I don't look at leaks, video leaks. I don't look at audio leaks or anything like that. I kind of stay in my own little corner. So the Winter Nights Lazzo video came out on Monday morning. I watched that trailer Monday afternoon. People were telling me Monday afternoon to check out the voice lines, but the patch didn't come out until Tuesday night, and I'm not sitting down to play it until today, which is Thursday afternoon. So it's annoying to me because everyone assumes that everyone knows that about these voice lines. Or if you hear about the voice lines on a YouTube video, and I know what video it is, the video in question has like 500,000 views right now. So all of these people are listening to these voice lines on YouTube, and I guess they just assume that they're in the game before the patch even went live. So when I uploaded my Winter Nights Lazzo reaction, when I uploaded my Dottore reaction, when I uploaded my drip marketing reaction, all of these people are like, oh, check out Childe's voice line. I'm like, the patch isn't out yet. So like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's so annoying. Like, these people don't realize that the shit that they're consuming outside of the game might not actually be in game. And like, I'm constantly it was just annoying to deal with. So if you look at leaks, please just have more mental awareness to just understand that not everyone looks at leaks, and some people want to experience that shit in game. I know that's probably like none of you guys in chat, but I wanted to just get that out there because it's something that I've been dealing with for like the past week, and it's really frustrating. It's really annoying, especially on like my Dottore video, because like I made the theory about Dottore having segments of himself through experimentation, and then people are like, you should go to Childe's voice lines about that, and I'm like, you should understand that the patch isn't out yet, and you're telling me stuff that isn't in the game. So I don't really give a shit if Childe confirms what I theorized, because I theorized it before it was confirmed officially. So I don't really care about that. I just care about people not having the awareness to understand that that shit's not in the game yet, and not everybody knows, and not everybody wants to know. So yeah, leakers, you fucking suck. Anyways, apparently Childe has some new voice lines, and regardless, I kind of still want to know, because from his perspective, he has a bit more of an intimate relationship with the Fatui Harbingers, which is awesome. I don't know who he talks. Oh my God. He talks about all. Okay, I didn't know he talked about every single one. Okay, I'm still kind of hyped. Wow. Okay, I actually did not know that Childe talks to everybody, talks about everybody. All right, let's see. So this is Piero, aka the Jester, aka probably a leader or a member of Conria.
He was the first ever Fatui Harbinger.
Yep.
And today he's our leader. He only appears on important occasions. As for his accomplishments, to be honest, I don't really care. I owe my loyalty and devotion to the Tsaritsa. No one else. Man's your leader, and he's like, he's my leader, but I don't give a shit. There's someone above him. That's who I respect. God, that's some Giga Chat energy right there. Holy. So yes, so we did speculate that. I think it was in our drip marketing and the reaction itself, but Piero, it was the first Fatus is how they like word it. And he's the one that recruited or like seeked out La Signora or Rosalind back in the day when she was known as the Crimson Witch of Flames. So that's super cool. I wish he gave us a little more like Conria connections or something like that, because I'm like foaming at the mouth to find out, is he related to Dainsleif? Is he related to Kaya in any way, shape, or form? Is that Kaya's great grandfather that Kaya mentioned that one time in his story quest, where he was like, found this ancient sword, it fell from Celestia, and a lot of people, myself included, speculate that the sword that fell from Celestia that they're referring to was from 500 years ago when Lumine and Aether fought against the Sustainer, and Aether, I chose
chose Aether. So Aether like attacked her and like that explosion happened and the sword fell out of his hand and it like fell from Celestia quite literally. And because it was 500 years ago, it would line up with the timeline for that to be Kaya's great-great-great-grandfather. And he's like, the sword is now in the lost Arcadian ruins. So all that to be said, I don't know if that's a lineage or someone, I don't know if that's his great-great-great-grandfather or if that's his father or whoever it might be for Kaya, but I'm excited. That's super cool. All right, moving on. El Capitano. This is my favorite Harbinger, I think, aesthetically. He looks so fucking cool, man. The captain looks so sick. I really wanted to be Emunlauker from Salvan Dagnir if he eventually went to, if he went from Salvan Dagnir to Conria and then Conria got nuked, so then he went from Conria to join the fucking Fatui Harbingers. That would be absolutely sick. But I think the captain is my favorite aesthetically of the bunch.
I've seen him in battle before, and oh, what a sight it was.
Oh my god.
Perhaps I'm ranked too low for him to notice me right now.
Sheesh.
Well, he may not recognize my strengths yet, but one day, I'll show him what I'm made of.
Oh my god. Oh, Captain, my captain. Yo, I'm so hyped for him. He is my most anticipated Harbinger at this point. Oh my god. He actually is a fighter. See, and another thing too, there's 9 Harbingers. Well, if you want to count Scaramouche, even though he's MIA, there's 10 Harbingers, right? And I assume all of them have a vision and a delusion, but with there being 7 elements, there has to be some type of inverse property going on where, you know, like how Childe is hydro vision, electro delusion, how Rosalind was pyro essence, cryo delusion. I wonder if there's going to be an inverse where you're going to have some of them that have an electro vision but have a hydro delusion, but they're not going to play the same way like Childe would, because I just don't think that there's enough unique combinations for all of them to have. And that also doesn't mean that all of them are going to be playable, but I just mean from a fighting perspective. I wonder if that's ever going to come to pass with them. Or maybe no vision? Yeah, that's another thing too. Some of them might not have visions at all, but I just don't understand how they would fight then. Because like, if you don't have a vision and you use a delusion, that's a bad, you know what I mean? Like, look at what happened to fucking Tepe. So I can only expect all of them to have a vision and a delusion to offset if they end up using their delusion. Dottore, we meet again, my guy.
I heard that he took segments of himself at different ages, made
Oh, I did not think of that. Wait a minute. So like, I thought he was just making clones, but he makes different clones of himself at different ages, so he's got... Wait a minute. Oh my god. You know who that reminds me of? For anyone who has seen Naruto, that reminds me of like Nagato in the 6 Paths of Pain. Like Nagato was like the old, weak, inferior, real version. But then you had the 6 Paths of Pain that were like fucking goated in the prime of their fucking existence. That shit was so sick. So I wonder, so now I'm wondering, I wonder if the Dottore from the manga was actually his youthful version. So like that version might still exist. And if that's true, dude, that would be so sick if we fight like the 6 Paths of Dottore. Like if there's multiple Dottore in his boss fight, god, that would be so hype. And because the main one is probably still in Snezhnaya but controlling them from a distance, like he's not gonna die, he just won't have any more segments, so he'll basically be useless after that. Oh my god. And to go a step further, I made my theory video about this, but some people correlated his segments with like Horcruxes from like the Harry Potter series. So like maybe he also can't die until you kill off his segments, but I don't really know if that's just like a cool little extra bit. But because it seems like if he's cutting off parts of himself at different ages, that would make sense why Columbina was like, you're looking young, doctor. So maybe that actually ages him in the process of doing that, you know what I mean? So holy fuck, that's so sick.
I heard that he took segments of himself at different ages, made prostheses out of them, and assigned different tasks to each one.
Wow.
I know. All my comrades are a little weird.
That's so cool.
Well, come to think of it, if I met my own prosthesis, we'd have to fight then and there to decide which one of us gets to survive.
I am so excited for Dottore as well. I just really hope Dottore is playable. And I assume it would be the version of him that we saw in the trailer. Him, like the segment in the prime of his life. God, I'm hoping, dude. I'm hoping. Ooh, Damselette. Okay, so this is Columbina.
The Fatui Harbingers are ranked by strength.
Number 3!
I have no idea why that girl is number 3. I'd test my skills with every Harbinger who ranks above me if I had the chance. But when it comes to her, something just doesn't feel right. Anyway, You should be careful around her.
Oh my god, what? Wait, so is that a fact? Like, the Fatui Harbingers are ranked by strength? That's always what I thought, even though it wasn't confirmed. I don't really know if this is, like, if he's saying that, then that must be the case. So, damn, that kind of fucking sucks then. If Child's already strong, then that technically means he's the weakest of all of them. That's actually kind of nuts. And he's already strong with his delusion and foul legacy. Wow, that's crazy. So that means every other person in that room was stronger than Child. And obviously Signora was too, but I guess that implies that no, like, what was Signora? Signora was number 8. So I guess number 8, 9, 10, and 11 are not stronger than the Electro Archon, because she fucking one-shot them with her strongest attack. And she wasn't, I mean, another thing too, Signora was weakened in her fight, so she didn't even end up fighting back. Wow, dude, that's insane. So Columbina's number 3? So Piero's number 1. Who's number 2? I hope it's the captain, right? The second in command. Oh my god. I would love for my fucking favorite Harbinger to be number 2. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. That'd be sick. Child's number 11. Signora was number 8. Scaramouche is number 6. Columbina's number 3. Yelan mentioned that Pantalone, aka Regrader, is number 9. So I don't know if I know who all of the other ones are just yet. Anyways, let's so she's number 3. She's way stronger than Child. Child's like, that one's a little sus. So that's really exciting too. All right, about Knave. So this is Arlecchino. A lot of people don't know who Arlecchino is outside of the trailer because there's actually a secret world quest featuring one of the best NPCs in the game, Ladocha, a former Fatui agent turned shrine maiden. The quest line is in Inazuma. It's super entertaining, and that is the first time we've ever heard Arlecchino, which is why I basically called that she was Arlecchino, because she mentioned you don't want to make the kids cry, and we know that Arlecchino runs the orphanage that raises kids to become Fatui in Snezhnaya. So, like, you would only know that if you did that quest, because she's not mentioned anywhere else in the game. So I really liked that quest. I really liked Ladocha, and I've just been like, and now that we see what she looks like, people are simping hard for her for a good reason. She looks amazing. So yeah, let's see.
Look, I've got nothing against people who have their own agendas. I myself joined the Fatui to get more experience in combat. But I don't like her at all. If she stood to benefit from betraying others, she'd turn against the Tsaritsa in a heartbeat. There isn't a sane bone in her body.
You know why? Because she fucking uses kids to fight. She runs an orphanage for sus reasons. And then you have Child over here who has a bunch of siblings. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like for that reason alone, I wouldn't like her either. I'm like, you're doing some sussery there, lady. Right? Imagine Tusser. Imagine something happened to Child's family in Snezhnaya. Arlecchino would quite literally recruit his siblings into the Fatui at that point. So, like, when you think about it that way, I understand completely why Child wouldn't like her, you know? So let's just hope I'm not manifesting that happening or anything, but I'm just saying, like, like, Child, he has his own agenda, but he's still a good-natured person to some extent, especially when it comes to his family and his siblings and whatnot. And, like, a lot of people like Arlecchino aesthetically, right? She's, like, hot or whatever, but, like, morally, she's a shitty person. Let's be real. All right, we got the Rooster. So this is Pusinella. This was the guy that was in the Teyvat preview chapter trailer. He's also the mayor of Snezhnaya, and if he's in the Teyvat preview chapter, that means that there's a strong likelihood that if there's anyone that's gonna be playable, it might be him, maybe, kind of, sorta, I don't know, you know, but he is in that trailer, technically speaking, even if it's supposed to be, I don't know. So yeah, let's see the Rooster.
I don't know what his motivations could be, but he seems genuine about wanting to help me.
Oh?
He treats me just like family.
Oh,
and speaking of family, Tonya and Tusser are always telling me about the pastries and other gifts he brings them when they write. So while I've been away from Snezhnaya, he's kept his promise to take care of my family.
I don't know how I feel about that, dude. You know, it's like, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. It's like, bro, if anything were to go off between Child and the Harbingers, this man's basically got your family at ransom. If he's like that close, he's like, yeah, I'll take care of your family as long as you keep to your obligations, you know? So that's not good either. Also, they never mention Anton. Child has another brother, and, like, we only hear about Tonya and Tusser. So, like, I wonder what Anton's all about. Like what I think his name is Anton or Anthon, but we only hear about Tonya and I mean, we know about Tusser, and he's talked about Tonya in his trailer. Like he wrote a letter home to her. So I wonder if Anthon is going to be referenced, mentioned, showcased, playable, all of the above in the future. I think Anthon is older than him too, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure Anthon is older. So that's another thing. Pretty interesting guy. All right, Marionette next. This is Sandrone.
She always seems engrossed in her research. I wonder if those machines have anything to do with her. Anyway, I've only met her a few times, but every time she looked like she wanted to murder me. I have no idea what I possibly could have done to annoy her, though.
So she tinkers with Conria machines, it seems. So the Adventurers Guild is an organization that originated from Snezhnaya. I'm now thinking about it, and there's a Catherine in every region, and we understand like the concept of puppets, right? The Electro Archon, Scaramouche, you know, even Magukenki. I wonder if Catherine is like, I don't know how to word it, but like, I wonder if Catherine is like an asset to the Harbingers in some way. Like she knows about everything happening in every region. So I wonder if they use her as like a informant for all of the regions to find out what happens or how to make their move and stuff like that. You know, she's always talking about rebooting, error, like stuff like that. So like, I feel that I'm gonna get a little edgy here. I think it would be kind of sick if they used Catherine in a fight. Like if like, I would never want to like lift a finger to Catherine, but I think that would be super fucking edgy and like kind of cool if the Harbingers were like, all right, let's use Catherine to fight for us or something like that. I just think that would be super, not a playable character or anything, because she tinkers with machines and stuff like that, and she's got like her little like Conria ruin butler dude. So like if she messes with him, you know, because I'm thinking now, like if she messes with machines and you got fucking Dottore who like makes different like prostheses of himself, I wouldn't be surprised if both of them put their heads together and created like multiple different iterations of Catherines and threw them into each region. I think that would just be super cool. I would really like to see that. Also, I think there would be like a lot of emotional investment in a fight like that, because similar to Paimon, Catherine is such a constant throughout the game, like just as much as Paimon. Like even in the Archon quests, in the side quests, you talk to her every fucking day when you do your, you know, Ad Astra Abyssos, welcome to the Adventurers Guild. Thank you for completing your commissions. Here's your reward. You know what I mean? Like Catherine is probably the second most influential character in this entire game. People just like, she's so easily glossed over that I feel like it would be such a cool, it would be so rewarding to put a character like that at center stage, even if it is gonna be like a tragic thing that happens if we end up like killing every Catherine in the game. But yeah, I like that idea. I think that'd be really cool, and I don't want it to happen, but I kind of do. I don't know why she'd be mad at Childe. Like she's like, I don't know what I could have possibly done to annoy her. I don't know. Maybe you're too chipper around the office. All right, Regrader, this fucking guy.
Oh, now that guy has a head full of grandiose plans fueled by raw ambition. I don't understand a word he says once he starts talking about his theories. But as long as he keeps our cash reserve stocked up, I'm not complaining.
The banker of the Fatui. Damn, I guess all that blood money that we got at the beginning of the game was like fueled through Regrader's efforts in the Fatui Harbingers. So yeah, he's the banker. Unfortunate, you know, he's the sugar daddy essentially. All right, oh damn. Too soon, man. Too soon. Too soon, bro. Oh, I almost said, who's the fair lady? Oh my god.
I never got along with her. You know that.
Yeah.
I guess there's not much more worth saying about her at this point. When you're a Harbinger, you have to accept that death could come at any time. But don't worry about me. No matter what happens, I'll do whatever it takes to keep myself alive.
I wonder if Childe's gonna have a close call. R.I.P. Senora. Actually, yeah, this is kind of crazy too, but I think the r/Senora mains Discord is actually privated right now, because I think they're getting like a lot of shit and a lot of like hate from people. Not hate, but like people just fucking griefing them about Senora, which is kind of fucked up. You know, at the end of the day, it's a character, it's a game, it's for fun, it's whatever. I don't think anyone should ever take it further than that, you know, but it does suck that she's basically become like a laughing stock in the community, because she was kind of a cool character whenever, you know, people were constantly looking forward to her, and then she was the one that was made an example of, unfortunately. So yeah, anyways, I do love her storyline though. I do think it's unfortunate though, and I talked about this. You guys will see this video. I recorded it on my own, so no one has ever seen it, but after I finished the Inazuma Archon quest on the YouTube channel, once we get to Inazuma Archon quest Act 3, I actually talk about my thoughts on the act as a whole, because I do think that there were some pacing issues with the Inazuma Archon quest. I did have a bit of criticism in that regard, but I also regarded that it was kind of unfortunate that the only way you would know anything about La Signora, aka Rosalind, is if you read the artifacts, like the Crimson Witch of Flame artifact set, because that's really where you learn about, in tandem with some other artifacts, the people that she was influenced by back in the day, like Rostam, for example. So yeah, it is unfortunate that nothing about her is rooted in present day, because she lived 500 years ago technically, so I guess that makes sense. But with her being a present character in the modern day, most people probably don't know that she existed 500 years ago, or, you know, she's been alive for 500 years. So that's the only thing that I'm upset about, because it's such a good piece of lore to learn about her origins, and that she studied at the Sumeru Academia, and that she was grief-stricken by what happened at Conria, and that's probably what drove her to join the Fatui. So it is unfortunate that most people don't know about that. Oh, and the Balladeer, of course.
After he took the Gnosis, we lost all contact with him. Now comes the task of trying to hunt it down and get it back. I actually don't mind it.
Uh-oh.
It means I get to travel all over. Wonder if I'll run into you somewhere along the way.
Version 2.2. That would be interesting too. Oh god, dude. Lord knows what state Scaramouche is in the next time we see him, because like he just seems so left turn move for him to do, honestly. Like he's just such a wild card at this point. I actually don't know. Like he's not allied with the Fatui. He's not allied with us. It's just himself and his plans. I feel like he has the potential to be like a pseudo Archon level boss too. Right? Because when you think about it, there's nothing different between him and Raiden A, aside from like the Muso Ishin. Like he's a puppet like Raiden A. His powers have been awakened like Raiden A's thanks to the Fatuis, and he has a Gnosis now, whereas she didn't. So I don't know if he can harness that power of the Gnosis without the influence, without like Celestia's approval, but he's just like a recipe for disaster right now. And so what Dottore did say was interesting, because it seems like Scaramouche is on like this personal journey, because he mentioned that like once he's conquered the divine gaze, whatever happens next is up to him. So he understands something on a divine level that no one else can understand, and he's trying to sort it out. And in the meantime, people are just kind of like, okay, what's gonna happen to him? So I guess he's on like this personal journey with finding out about the secrets of the universe from 1.1, and maybe the Gnosis will help him get that, because the Gnosis is kind of like a direct link with Celestia and whatnot. So it's just interesting to see how all of that plays into each other. But yeah, I was not expecting that much information and insight regarding the Harbingers. That is so freaking cool, and very excited to see where it goes in the future. I also wonder if he'll still go by Scaramouche, because if he's not in the Fatui anymore, then it's kind of like, what's his identity now too? That's another thing to consider. Like if he's not Balladeer / Scaramouche, I wonder if he'll go back to being known as Kunikazushi, which is his original name before joining the Harbingers. So that's another thing too. That would be cool. I would prefer if he goes back to Kunikazushi, honestly, but I guess it really depends on what he wants to do next. Overall, Fatui, all of that insight was pretty awesome. We got a little bit more than what we had already gotten from the trailers, which is always a treat. And I just look forward to seeing how the Fatui become more of a threat as time goes on. I feel like Mondstadt, Liyue, and Inazuma were kind of like the beginning, like all three of those acts in a story. You have three big acts. You have Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. I feel like Mondstadt, Liyue, and Inazuma was the big Act 1 chunk of the game, and now Sumeru, Fontaine, and Natlin are gonna be the big Act 2, and then the big Act 3 is gonna be Snezhnaya, Conria, and Celestia. I think that would be like a nice Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 for the game overall, but you know, only time will tell. But this was super exciting, and if anything, I can't wait until we see Capitano in the game. That's gonna be awesome.